Good evening. This is the Bedford Township Park Commission board meeting for May 12th, 2025. Call to order, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There's one up here for you, Aaron.
Oh, okay. Oh,
nice. Good timing. The first item's the approval of the agenda. Did anybody have any other outside items to add? I do have, which I'll put under ComEd Parks Partners. I did get an update from Nancy for that.
Yes.
But otherwise, any other things to add? Otherwise, I need a motion for the agenda to be approved.
Motion to approve the agenda.
as presented, I'll support.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All ayes. The agenda is approved for tonight. Approval of the minutes from our last meeting. I think I left the date on there, wasn't it the 28th? Yeah, our meeting was the 28th. I didn't change the date on that. From April 28th, 2025. I had looked through. I didn't see anything that needed changed. I'm not sure if anybody else did, but I will motion to approve as is.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved from the 28th. Secretary's report. And treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report. Bills are pretty standard. 2 Mazes of Clean. These are the final invoices that we will be receiving from them since we have terminated their contract. We've now contracted with Amy Frost.
Perfect.
We do have an invoice from her as well. She did 3 cleans at Car Park.
Okay.
2 consumers bills, and then Stevens for the month for Porta Johnson dumpsters. Over $4,000 in revenue for the halls and pavilions from Point and Pay, and then the South Tower Car Park. And then also a friendly amendment to add for the agenda for the treasurer's report. Last meeting we had a consumer's bill for the Pocket Park in Jackman.
Okay.
Didn't realize that was something we needed to cover. We weren't sure because I've never seen an invoice for 8515 Jackman. It doesn't come out on Google Maps, so we're going to, since last meeting we didn't approve the payment of that, we're going to approve that tonight. The amount of $29.16.
So that brings that $4,093.73 to $4,122.89 for the expenses, just as that note. There's no other additions or anything. It's all pretty standard. The final from 2 Maids of Clean, so we're going to be finally done with them. I will motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Second.
All in favor, Aaron?
Yes.
Matthew?
Yes.
Myself, aye.
Aye.
Treasurer's report is approved.
Where's this Pocket Park in Jackson?
I don't know.
It's next to the.
8515, I guess I could.
It's next to the library.
Doesn't
You
come
drive
up.
on Jackman
Oh,
Road.
the gazebo.
Yes,
It's
that
the
area
gazebo
right there
light.
between the junior high
It's
and
billed
the
like-
library.
That's right.
I think it's billed
This came up, like, years
biannually or annually, so we never see it, and we do the same thing every
So
time.
that's the light bulb in the gazebo.
Yep, 2916 was like the annual bill for that
People
to be.
take pictures there. That's nice.
Right next to the school.
Yeah,
Yeah, right next to.
it's that.
In between
That's
the
a
middle
park,
school
a
and the
pocket park
Yep.
between the library and the
From the
school.
library.
Yep. So that is a pocket park, and we're covering that bill. Presentations, none present. ComEd Park Partners, I did get an update from Nancy and ComEd, so I'll read this out. Good evening. The spring soccer season kicked off with games on Saturday with 21 teams playing in Indian Creek. The 12-team strong pre-K soccer team games start tomorrow, weather permitting. Our biggest obstacle so far has been the weather at this point. T-ball registration is brisk. We're currently fielding 26 teams for pre-K and K through 2 T-ball, which should fill the fields at Indian Creek. They're still getting calls about softball and baseball practice diamonds. As a reminder to 3B and any travel teams and anybody looking for fields, they need to check in with ComEd for the use of diamonds at Indian Creek. There is a small charge to offset the maintenance of fields at mowing costs and porta-johns that they need to register with ComEd on specific days and times for those fields. It's not just open. Summer Parks is completely full with the wait list. We need to curtail registrations due to space and staffing issues, but we are hosting the same number of students as last year. Girls softball is slowly coming together, and we'll have a small league this summer. We added several new classes and continue to promote the arts, tennis, golf, and more through social media. Next month, they will turn the fall turn to fall scheduling and getting classes and leagues together for the start of school. The brochure and registration will be available in mid-August. As we know, they are open to adding programs for both kids and adults. Please let them know if you have any suggestions or concerns. Thank you for your continued support and assistance with the community education program. Director Nancy Crandall. That is all I have from ComEd. I don't have an update from any of our other partners, the travel teams or 3B. I know they are in full swing and games have started. The park is, I know White Park's packed on the weekends. It's full goal welcome to spring. Anybody have anything other from our partners or ComEd?
I don't have anything now.
Moving on then, item 8, comments from the public. There's no public present. So our first item from old new business is item 9A, the pickleball courts bids review for Carr Park. The bid period did close. All of them are in and are currently under review. I believe we had 12 total companies, 10 total companies bid. Mannequin Smith is doing an in-depth review with the engineer to go through everything, and then we will be meeting with them separate to kind of review everything and get it down to a much smaller list and final options of who to go with. From there is when we can make a decision as who we recommend to the township board. Since we do not have a meeting the fourth Monday of May, that one we canceled because that is Memorial Day. I believe we'll be able to make that decision in lieu on that first meeting in June. Then that should give enough time for Mannequin Smith to get back with us on items and that, but we'll keep everybody posted with that as that goes. It's quite a bit to review. There's a ton of bids and a lot of info in that.
There's 200 pages.
Yeah.
The ranges are
Yeah, I was to say anything
about
outside of that.
219,000 to 333,000. A lot of them right in the middle of there. So we have to review to see why there's such a huge discrepancy. And obviously we go with the appropriate one, but
There always is. There's usually a really low outlier that's not sure what they're doing, and they're well below everybody else, which is sometimes concerning. And then there's usually a good grouping of them middle of the pack, which right where they should be. And then there's usually ones that are bidding just to bid, and if they get it, so be it. And they're usually on the high end.
I'm glad we have the engineers to look over it first.
Yep. Outside of that, we're moving forward with that process. It is a long process to do a full project like that. Fireworks update. It is still set for June 26th. I don't want to say the wrong date, so let me pull it up just to make sure. Friday, June 27th is the scheduled fireworks, with Saturday the 28th as a rain date. I did get the registration form, and I sent it to both of you for food trucks or vendors. I'll get a blank one. It's one that we used from last year. I'll get a blank one created with the highlighted blank areas that you need to fill in. So if you have anybody interested, let me know. Currently, the Glowworks company that we had last year and years past is good to go for it. I have not heard back yet from any of the other three, or I did hear back from one, and they are backing out this year due to how many and how big it was last year in funds. And then the other two I still haven't heard back from, but we'll get in touch with them here and try to get them locked in. If you have any others,
And
just communicate and let me
if
know.
I read the email correctly, Loaded Gastro is backing out.
That they're the ones backing out, correct?
And then you haven't heard from Purple Penguin or who
Or
else?
Got Ears, which is like the fair food truck.
Oh, okay. Like elephant ears and stuff?
Yep.
Okay. There's 2 trucks I could bring in. I could try to at least, so.
Yep, I'll get that form out and
I
discuss
talked
it with
to Sammy's Barbecue. They won't be able to do it as much as they would want to. They're already booked for doing the Luna Pier event the following day.
Yep.
So she's already busy doing that. Otherwise, we
There's
would
a
have
lot
Sammy's
going on
Barbecue.
with it. Yep.
So
That's all we have for fireworks at this point. Moving on to 9C, I was contacted for a disc golf event at Parmley. They would like to schedule it for a day event Saturday, June 7th. It would be a 2-round event, 1 day. It is by Saucy Disc Golf. They're a local disc golf company.
The guys we're used to.
Not the normal ones. These guys want to run an event, or not a fundraiser, but a tournament style event, 2-day with a net registration, all that. I told him, and he's getting the same liability insurance through the PDGA, Professional Disc Golf Association, same as what our other company did. I'm just pending getting that insurance in, and he'll get us all of his company and contact info and all that. Outside of the insurance pending, obviously he has to have it for that. There's nothing else scheduled for that day. I'm basically putting it to a motion to allow them to host a tournament event for that day. It would only be during park hours. It's not a night event like the other one we approved. They are providing insurance, and they will be allowed to then post that it is their official event, and they're hosting and taking care of everything.
2 questions. One, what's the start time, end time? Did he specify?
Don't have specified. Yeah, it would be a day event, so during park hours.
During daylight hours, okay.
He doesn't have specific times yet. That's the date they're looking
And
for,
then,
Saturday, June 7th.
secondly, how much money are they paying for this?
They are not. It's somebody to actually host an event here.
They're just covering the liability on that just to have the event.
They have to have the liability insurance. They are on the hook for everything. It's basically for us to allow them to
Host the
legally
event.
post that they're hosting, that it is, even though this is a public area, hey, they do it. It's like renting.
Right, and they're
pavilion or
making
that,
money,
but-
but yeah, okay.
They're making money for sure.
It is good for the township, though, because people locally can
Brings in-
go and
And it
I
brings
don't know.
in business and stuff,
and
yeah.
cons.
I would say
There's
more
pros and cons, which come with.
When we let the night event go,
Sports,
which
yeah.
that was through Black Swamp Discs, who's been doing the signs and all that.
Right.
They had, I believe, for that event, he had somewhere around 54 registrations. And that was a 1-round night event. This is a 2-round day event. They might have a little more, a little less, but that many people show up and play disc golf on the weekends as is. This is just kind of giving them the, hey, we're running this event. It's allowed in case sheriff shows up or anything of that nature.
Well, so the one that we talked about the insurance before was the night one.
Correct.
I don't think we've ever done insurance.
If they're
Any other-
if they're hosting an official event and an official one that we're approving, they have to have liability insurance.
But I don't think we've ever approved an official one. Have we? Other than the night.
Other than the night event,
Other
for
than
disc
the-
golf at least. There's
Right,
been
that's
other
why
events.
I don't think. Right. Okay. That's. I don't think we've ever done the disc golf during park hours
Correct.
kind of thing.
It hasn't happened yet, but this is the first one.
This
so.
is the first one. That's why. It's
Which
like,
is nice. It's getting Parmalee promoted. By that point, talking with Black Swamp Discs, by that point the course sign should be in.
I was going to ask about
and
that.
then I know from there, Black Swamp Discs in the future here in the summer, I know is looking to also host events and go. So
Great.
it's
It's-
good promotion for the disc golf course. It's just
It's the moment that a non-tournament participant shows up at the park during park hours and wants to play, woven through their group, and how is that communicated and handled?
Well, I was going to say, are we going to have this posted in advance?
that's
Like a
what-
sign or something
Post
saying that this event's going to be taking place, like have it posted weeks in advance so people know and see it, and maybe have it on the
that's
township
what
website.
his plan is to do. We could put it on the township site as an official
I don't
event.
know that that's at least that makes it like, hey, it was posted. But I don't know. I mean, like, where were you thinking of posting it other than the website, like physically
Well,
a sign
if the-
on the ground?
If the map sign is going to be there by that time, maybe like next to it or so.
It is a bulletin board style.
I think that's
to wear.
like, hey, alert, alert, there will be a tournament on this day. We've never really, we had the same thing with pickleball last time, right? That, like, people want to play through. I mean, this at least.
And this group is actually hosting
so
a
that's-
liability insurance, and it's a one-day event. They're not trying to take up 3 days a week at these times without
Yeah,
any
no,
type
that's.
of
I think we need to
LLC
somehow.
or insurance commitment or anything.
We need to almost, like, if we're going to authorize it, the authorization is that people don't play through. And if they come to use the place,
I mean, really, it's going to be up to
these guys.
these guys if they're okay with, 2 people show up and they want to play through. So be it. Mix them in.
Well, are we telling them to mix them in, and that's part of our policy?
I think
Is
it's
that-
just at their discretion.
Yeah, it's entirely.
right. So they
Well,
may not
the
be-
other
If he
thing-
has 15 registrants, I don't see it being an issue. If they have 80 people deciding to go to this tournament, it's probably there's not
Double
going
up
to be
people.
room.
And the other thing, too, you have to remember is that these people that are, if A, probably paid, and B, signed liability waivers with this group anyways, so they would have to do the same.
I'm just. What measures do we have in place to inform the non-tournament
You're asking questions.
public?
We don't.
We don't. That's why I don't know that.
Are you going to create them?
No, that's
then-
why I don't know that we should get ourselves involved, because we don't have the ability to control these things on the back end. So why?
What is there to control?
People playing through who want to use the course and are not part of the tournament.
There's a hosted event going on that's been approved by us. As simple as that. And this group is providing the insurance.
Approved by us, however, we are not able to provide the jurisdictional support for that approval. In that, if someone wants to come in and is like, screw you, I'm playing, and starts playing, and
At
these
that point, if
organizers
it gets
say,
into that,
"Screw
it goes
you,"
to the sheriff. Like,
Right, I understand, I know.
Or one of
but,
us
like,
goes out there and clears it up too.
That's what I mean. Like, there's been dozens and dozens and dozens of tournaments that have occurred at Parmalee. Parmalee's every summer. There's dozens of these types of tournaments that go on, and we have never been involved in them or talked about them at our meetings.
Well, question is,
So,
have we
I
ever
don't
had
know.
issues?
Huh?
Have we ever had an incident before? Like this that you're bringing
I don't know
up?
that there's ever been an incident that's gotten to us because we've washed our hands of authorizing any tournament holders and saying that we're going to be involved with their administration of their tournament. And when we do this, then I fear that opens the door to us that we're like authorizing something or providing.
Do you want to charge a registration fee to make it official?
No, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I just want to have it be like all the others that have always gone on and like whatever, guys.
I mean, these guys are actually taking the right and proper step by going through PDGA, getting proper liability insurance and everything. I think this is the proper step to promote these.
Tons of tournaments do that every summer. There are a number of PDGA. Yes, there are 1 to 2 or more dozen.
There's people that post on Toledo Disc Golf Group that say, hey, meet up for this Scrambles
No,
tournament.
there are PDGA authorized tournaments at Parmalee, yearly, multiple.
Never
dozens.
seen them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, show us the proof.
You could probably go on the PDGA site right now and find the proof in a sense, although I haven't been on there in years. But I mean, I know that PDGA authorized events on the PDGA website have had Parmalee Park as the hosting place before, many times.
Okay.
So like,
Well,
I don't know what's different this. I mean, I'm cool with it either
I'm going to go back to square one, and I'm motioning, since he's doing the proper steps, that yes, we'll approve this for June 7th for a one-day, 2-round event, pending he does provide the liability insurance to us to put on file, and that allows him to post it, and then it doesn't become a discrepancy, because yes, this was an approved event. Outside of that, we don't have any.
Approved means then to me that he's allowed to tell people they're not allowed to use
Yes,
the
it's an
course.
approved event. Just as when fireworks are held at the community stadium on the 27th, that we're using the stadium for that day, we got it cleared through the school.
I'm just saying, like, if there is an issue and the sheriff does show up, then
Well, with the night event,
then Saucy Disc Golf can say this person is not allowed on this disc golf course right now. We, Saucy Disc Golf, have this disc golf course exclusively
Registered for this
on
day.
it. As long as we're all understanding that that's what we're creating here, then
And I
I'm
would
cool.
just make a friendly amendment saying that they are responsible for,
Clean up,
well, that and
set up, clean up,
telling the people no, and it's not.
and
like,
notifying the public.
And any damages and whatnot.
Yep, that's what the liability insurance is for, damages and injury.
This is a better way to go. I mean, yeah,
100%.
it's certainly like then in the future, other companies who hold their PDGA
And this
events
is-
there
Which
This
as
is how
well,
it's. This is
do
what
it
we
like
started
Saucy
with
did.
Black
The
Swan.
rules are the same for everybody, so if anybody wants to do this, that everybody's going through the same
Yeah.
process. Rules be the same for everybody.
Actually, something if we pass
Yeah,
it.
in the long run, if we have a good showing and good outings and this works and it's promoted enough to where it's busy enough, then we can charge an event fee if you want to host it.
Parmalee is the 8th largest disc golf course in Michigan. The 8th most frequently visited.
Yeah,
Really?
it is an
it
extremely
is
busy
extremely
golf
busy.
course.
Very, very busy.
Good.
Well,
Motion still stands.
I would say about 8% of
We're
the
getting off track here. I'm going to bring everybody back on track.
Yeah.
The motion is out there.
Two things just to clarify. A, the liability. So,
I said pending the liability insurance.
So Trudy's going to have a copy of this. Will Phil review it
Turn
too?
it in. Correct.
Phil's going to see this and say it's okay.
Just like the other event, it gets turned in.
Phil, all right, good.
It's
I'm all good there.
It's insurance direct through the PDGA.
As long as Phil sees it and
the
it's
same
on
that
file
Black Swamp Discs had.
here in the office, then good.
So I need a second to that.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. We're carrying on for minutes on end over.
I don't know. That's important. We've never set this protocol before. We just did.
Fair enough. Parks update. Anstead, any update up there?
Nothing with Ansted.
Samaria?
Not a whole lot. Driven by there a few times lately. park's been used quite a bit. I noticed there's been a few rentals going on, especially the pavilion outside, so it's great. People are enjoying it. I had an email before. Someone was asking about something to do with some tables at Samaria Park.
That was me. I emailed you.
Okay, yeah. I went in there and got a count. We have 12 rounds and 3 lawn tables. So there are some lawn tables in there to do like the buffet line for the food. So
I've been updating the website based on what we actually
The
have.
rentals.
as far as
Trying to get
what's
account
in stock,
numbers
good.
to Make sure everything's
Accurate? Good. Other than that, Samaria, the only thing I just thought about it today, I haven't had the chance to get a hold of Pat, but want to see if he's got any time coming up soon where we can get the walking trail in the woods cleaned up, signed, and all that, because that would be nice to have.
I think it's long. I went and looked for it last time. Like, I don't think there's any semblance of a trail.
It's basically we got to pick a path and create one.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be a
Unless
lot.
there's
to
an old
ask.
map of
And at this moment,
Might be a lot
I
to
don't
ask.
see
It'd
it
be a winter,
happening with
right?
how much is going on, and I know they're already with rain far behind on the mowing schedule alone. That Pat, it's not going to be something that our maintenance is going to do outside of their current capacity, because I've already had multiple calls from multiple teams for multiple parks of, hey, when's our field getting mowed? It's been 3 weeks. Like,
It was a great idea when Chris started that, but now that like it's gone back and been reclaimed by the woods.
well, no, what Chris did, we cleared like 10 feet in, so there was more room behind the dugout and the bench back there.
Oh,
'Cause it
wasn't-
used to be grown right to that bench.
yeah.
Now there's actually some space for like teams and people to put a tent up and like chairs and when
It's
a
nice
game's
there.
going on. We never did anything with the trail itself.
Back in the focus.
going back into it, yeah.
More of a
That
winter
was kind of
project
the
anyways,
next step, and that is a much more fall or
Yeah.
early spring
Feel
before
like
the muddy
a-
thaw project.
that's why I was trying to get it done early in the spring before all the mowing, and nothing happened there. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, keep it on the radar. Like I said, for spring and right now, I don't see it. Possibly, definitely,
Maybe in the
leading
dead
into
of-
fall, once
or-
leaves are down and it's dry.
maybe in the middle of July and August when there's like 0 rain and
That too.
grass barely grows and it turns brown.
There's
Be a
that
good time,
part too. White Park, I don't have any specific update. I know the pavilion rentals have been bumping way up, so if you're planning to use them and you want to guarantee one, I would say get on the site and rent it, because I know for most of the weekends here, I've seen both of them I've had a ton of rentals come through for that. Fields are busy, 3B's busy. White Park is in full action and full use. Parmalee,
Nothing to report.
Mars Grove.
Just a couple things. I've had a couple people talking about the pavilion not being able to rent it. It is inactive right now because we are planning on renovating it. We just don't know when yet, so we don't want to promise a rental and then have to cancel it. So it is right now just first come, first serve. And I was looking at the parking lot, and we can go another probably 20 or 30 cars if we expanded it over by the building.
Are the maintenance storage
Yeah,
building
that building,
back? Yeah.
Good.
So that might be something we want to put on a potential it'll be a minimal cost, not minimal, but relatively stone and move the fence basically, which
Yep.
you're adding about 100 foot of fence.
That's good.
And that would add a lot of. I saw that back there. I don't know. No, because the outfield doesn't. That kind of meets right up with the edge of the building, doesn't it?
Yeah, you could go further. I mean, I measured it. It would be a very good shot for a 3B to hit it that far.
That's like a 10U and under field.
It's actually still further away than it is to be out in right field.
Yep.
Right field is, I don't know, 50 feet shorter.
I think that'd be good too, because then there'd be less cars parking at the church, and the church would have less problems.
That and then like we've discussed, if a rental's going on while pickleball
Yes.
is going on, it's going to alleviate.
I think it's something that we're
gonna
going
help all
alleviate
around.
sooner than
the
later.
hot points. It's overall, it's not
Especially if it's a big rental.
consistently needed, but at that point, the other thing we were bringing up too, and as we'll look as these pickleball courts are coming up, which we'll need to discuss as a board, is the LEO system was put in place for rentals and going, and looking at with how big this is going to be and how busy it is, setting the courts for like 1 hour rental time periods. So people can guarantee themselves a spot on the courts and leave it at that. I know there's new indoor courts in Toledo that are $20 an hour per person.
person.
So you usually take a group of 4 to play pickleball. I know it's indoor and they have a restaurant and everything too, but courts are at a prime and there's going to be a lot of people I think showing up, and if it becomes an issue if it's overpacked or unofficial groups are trying to claim times and block it and everything, that it needs to be a simple, and it could be a minimal fee. It's just, hey, I rented court number 1 of 8 at this time. You can guarantee yourself that then with a receipt, and hey, we have dibs to this court.
And we could even make it, you can rent 6 out of the 8, and that way 2 are always open to anybody.
Right.
If we decide
something-
to.
I feel like it's all or nothing on that.
Think so?
Yeah, I think.
At least starting out, probably it might be.
I would do it as single courts because there's going to be
Yeah.
courts, right? And if
You
need
can only
6,
rent one at a time.
Yeah, you rent.
I'm just
6.
saying, not making all of them rentable, like.
Oh,
it
I
might
see
be
what
better
you're
to
saying.
think.
I see what you're saying.
Open play, yeah.
Just something to ponder and think about as we approach. Obviously, we're a long ways out. We're just getting through the bids review and construction's got to get scheduled, all that. But it's something we need to start thinking of and discussing. And how do we alleviate this? And do we bring in some funds from new courts, and which will help basically offset
Cost.
to
I was gonna say.
redo the courts at White then that we've been band-aiding and slowly decaying. And is this a way we approach that and look at it? Just something to ponder.
And then
See how much money is generated from it, to be honest.
this is kind of a all parks comment. I think I sent you the email about Ace Toilets. They wanted to put a bid in for the Porta Johns, and they came in at $5 higher than what we currently pay for. So they were asking what we want to do with that. I'm like, well, my guess is not.
We looked 2 or 3 years back now at changing dumpster and porta companies entirely and what it would do and offset. And I think over the annual, it was offset by about $300 under they came in for the same number of porta johns, dumpsters, all that. And it would be a fresh company that has no idea our setup, no idea our system and rhythm versus Stevens, and it did not make sense.
Right. I mean, to go even to go higher in price made 0 sense to me.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing too is talked to somebody about that too. Apparently, we've been using Stevens Porta Johns for like 23 years or so, and to be honest, like
Getting a good deal.
yeah, because like over time they start charging you slightly less just for being loyal, like especially commercial accounts. Over time, they'll charge you less than what they would a new customer signing up.
Yeah, so
That's when it comes to commercial accounts.
feel free
over
to get
years
bids
and
and
years.
look at it. But like I said, we went through
They
this 2 years ago
contacted
on a
me.
big,
I didn't even ask for it, so I just said
we went through this on a big overlook just to view it all and see it, and it just that made no sense.
if they came in at the 2,500, I'd be like, okay, now we're
Maybe.
that's per month, you know. But
The other thing I will say too is Stevens is a family-owned local Bedford Township
Exactly.
company that's been here for generations. It's third and fourth family generation. I will say I'm a proud employee of 6 years there so far. So
I
I'll
don't have any
vouch for them
change,
anytime.
so.
yeah,
Wheeler Preserve, no update there. I've seen people through the trails. If anybody has anything, I have any
Maintenance brought
updates.
The garbage can.
What?
Maintenance brought the garbage can.
I-
Yeah.
That's out. Were there any calls or any updates on any motorized vehicles and driving through? I haven't heard anything.
Oh,
from
Wheeler?
that,
But
so-
I haven't gone back there
Right.
since our last meeting where I saw that happen. I don't know.
I haven't seen it happen. I know we got a call about it. Like that's the most we can do is, hey, please don't drive motorized vehicles in the parks. That gets us through the parks. Comments from the public. There is none present. Commissioners' comments. Aaron,
No.
Matthew,
none for me.
none from myself.
again, looking forward to the fireworks. Our next meeting won't be until June because of Memorial Day. So just remember the great sacrifice that some people gave it all for our freedoms, for our country. So please just remember to honor and be thankful for the sacrifices that people have made for this country.
That concludes our Park Commission meeting. Our next meeting, as you said, will be Monday, June 9th, 2025. We do not have it on Monday, the 26th, due to Memorial Day. Everybody have a great holiday weekend that weekend and be safe. Need a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.